Everybody, it's Mrs. Mancuso. I'm continuing on with the August 2016 exam. So this next one here, what's the empirical formula? So when they ask for an empirical formula, they want the reduced formula. So if I reduce a 6 and a 12, I would just have CH2. That's as much as I can reduce it. All right, using table G, determine the minimum mass of NaCl that must be dissolved in 200 grams of water. Ooh, I'm writing times 2 right there. I'm not going to let that trick me. I know table G is per 100 grams of water, so I'm going to have to multiply whatever value I get by 2. All right, 90 degrees. So I'm going to grab the reference table. I'm going to go to table G, and I'm going to look up NaCl at 90 degrees. So 90 degrees NaCl, it's exactly on the 40 line. So 40 times 2, I would need 80 grams. All right, state the physical property that makes it possible to separate a solution by distillation. So if you're separating something based on distillation, you are separating it based on boiling point. So boiling point. I just want you to write those 2 words for an answer. So that is the physical property. Distillation separates 2 liquids in a mixture based on their boiling point. All right, a beaker contains a liquid sample of a substance. Both the beaker and the liquid are at 194. The graph shows the relationship between temperature as it's cooled. So if this is a liquid, then this is a solid, then this is the freezing point. All right, so the questions. State what happens to the kinetic energy. So over here, temperature is kinetic energy, a measurement of kinetic energy, during the first 3 minutes. So first 3 minutes, the kinetic energy decreases. Next one, identify the physical change occurring during the interval from 4 to 9 minutes. So from minute 4 to 9, the physical change, it is freezing. All right. The equation below represents a reaction between propene and hydrogen bromide. So here's propene, and here's hydrogen bromide. And then it's showing me something else. So I'm just going to go right down to the questions. Explain why this reaction can be classified as a synthesis reaction. So I would write out it is synthesis because it produces one product. Or another way of saying this is that the reactants combine to form one product. All right, next one. I'm going to just slide this over so it fits in this space. Okay, identify the class of organic compounds to which the product of the reaction belongs. So my product is right here. I'm going to circle what's unique, and I'm going to go to table R. Table R shows me all of my classes of organic molecules, and I see that because it has a BR on it, it is a halide. So I write just that single word, halide. There's my answer. All right, explain in terms of molecular formulas and structural formulas why it's an isomer. So they are isomers because they have the same molecular formula but different structural formulas. All right, I have given the definition of an isomer. An isomer are 2 compounds that have the exact same molecular formula but a different structure, therefore they have different properties. So I have definitely used molecular formula and structural formula in my answer. All right, convert the boiling point of cyclopropane to K. All right, so first of all, I know K is equal to 273 plus degrees Celsius. So I'm going to go up here and find the boiling point. It's negative 33. So negative 33 plus 273 is going to give me 240. Yep, 240. So I write 240K. Okay. The radius of a lithium atom is 130 picometers, and the radius of fluorine is 60. The radius of a lithium ion is 59, and the radius of a fluoride ion is 133. Compare the radius of a fluoride ion to the radius of a fluoride atom. So a fluoride ion is 133, so it's greater than. So an F minus has a greater atomic radius, or a greater radius. It's not atomic anymore, it's ionic. Has a greater radius than F. Okay, now let's talk about why. When you have a nonmetal and it gains electrons, it becomes a negative ion, and when it gains it, it becomes larger in size. Explained in terms of subatomic particles why the radius of a lithium ion is smaller than a lithium atom. And this is because it loses one electron and therefore one shell. So because lithium was 2-1 and it lost that one, it lost its outer shell when it lost its valence electrons. All right, draw a Lewis dot diagram for a fluoride ion. So a fluoride atom is 2-7. But F minus tells me that it has gained one, so I change that to an 8. So I do the F, I do the brackets, I do the -1, and I do the 8 dots. Oops. All right, so I always say this is as easy as A, B, C, D when you are doing an ion or an ionic compound. A for atom, B for brackets, C for charges, D for all 8 dots. So the negative ones, you write all 8 dots. The positive ones lost their dots, so no dots. Describe the general trend in atomic radius as each element in period 2 is considered from left to right. So as you go across, what happens to the radius? So a trend means I have to state as the elements in period, or as you go across period 2 is probably the easiest. Period 2, atomic radius decreases because you have more protons to pull those electrons in. So that's the trend. As you go across, the radius decreases. When you're doing a trend, you got to make sure you are stating what you are changing. All right, nuclear fission. So here I've got uranium being blasted with a neutron and splitting into Te and Zr. So state evidence that it represents a transmutation. Transmutation means to change elements. So my evidence is that uranium changes to Te and Zr. Those are different elements. Complete the nuclear equation for the beta decay of Zr97. All right, Zr97 is the mass. Zr is 40, and it says beta decay. So I can look up a beta. This is a beta. And then if I have 97 on this side, these two have to add up to 97, and these two have to add up to 40. So 41 minus 1 would give me 40. And then I look up what element 41 is, and it is Nb. So there is the answer to 65. All right, we're going to stop right there. In the next video, we'll go on to part C.